Hello YouTube. Wanted to make another video, another supplement review, but kind of a more general supplement review. And I think it's a topic that comes up quite often in bodybuilding and athletics in general, and that is the use of creatine and whether or not it should be cycled, whether it's safe or not, and all that fun stuff. Because I know creatine in the past used to have a pretty bad rep, but I really think things have changed, and I'll tell you guys why I recommend it and what it does, kind of from a physiological standpoint, kind of a very general physiological standpoint. But here we go. So I use Optimum Nutrition. Well, of course, my fingers are covering the label. Optimum Nutrition's micronized creatine. It's Creapure. It says creatine supplement, Creapure, unflavored, so I can mix it with my protein shake. And this is good stuff. It's a creatine monohydrate, and it's Creapure, which is this really, trusted, safe, clean form of creatine out of Germany. And I highly recommend it. I really honestly don't mess with any other forms of creatine, like creatine HCl maybe, but I really would suggest sticking with a monohydrate Creapure. So first of all, creatine is found naturally in your body. That's diehard fact. Your liver and your kidney produce creatine, and it's found in red meat. Now I think that the reason some people like to think or joke around that creatine is a steroid, which is hilarious, is because, when you take 5 grams of this, which is only a teaspoon is the serving, people think that it's unnatural to consume that much creatine at one point, because you would have to eat pounds or something ridiculous of red meat in order to get that much creatine in your diet naturally. But regardless, I think it's perfectly safe for an athlete to take this, and perfectly natural. Like I said, it's found in your body. And it's great whenever you're about to exert a lot of energy. For example, if you're bodybuilding, if you're about to deadlift, for example, when you rip the weight off of the ground, that really quick movement, your body, everyone remembers from science class, your muscles use up ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And whenever that energy is expended, it loses a phosphate and becomes adenosine diphosphate, ADP. So creatine, or phosphocreatine, once it's in your body, it's actively transported up to the skeleton, or to the skeletal muscles, and whenever your ADP is produced from, expending energy, the phosphocreatine attaches another phosphate group onto ADP, turning into ATP. So from adenosine diphosphate into adenosine triphosphate, thanks to your creatine, that transport of that phosphate group. So it's great for replenishing energy. That's why people say that creatine really gives you that kind of extra explosiveness, that extra edge, that extra little bit of endurance in the gym. And I definitely find it. It also gives it requires that you hold a lot of water. So it definitely makes, I can tell when I'm not taking creatine. I definitely look bigger. You can definitely see it in my arms and stuff like that, shoulders. So I really recommend creatine. Feel free to check with a doctor, of course. I'm not a physician or anything like that, so I can't force anyone to take it, of course. But I do recommend it, and if you do take it, taking creatine can really dehydrate you. So make sure you're really honestly getting in that gallon, 2 gallons maybe, depends on how big you are, of water a day, at least a gallon, no doubt. Do what you got to do. I carry around, it's not in here, I carry around a jug of water, and make sure you get it. You can definitely dehydrate yourself. That is, I guess, a danger of taking creatine. And I guess another thing I wanted to address is whether or not you should cycle creatine. I personally don't cycle my creatine. I only take the recommended 5 grams a day. Sometimes if I miss a day before, I'll take 2 teaspoons, and it's 10 grams. And I've never had any adverse effects. I stay well hydrated, and so I really don't feel like you need to necessarily cycle, because I think creatine works best when your muscles are saturated with creatine, which is another reason why some people say that you should load creatine, which means when you first start taking it, you should take instead of 5 grams per day for a week, you should take about 20 grams, really get it saturated in your body, and then you can take it normally. And that's up to you if you want to do that or not. I think you're pretty much fine either way. Your muscles will get saturated. One just takes, longer than the other, whether or not you load. So, I don't think it's necessary. Some people find that it's necessary because, like I mentioned earlier, your liver and your kidneys do produce creatine on their own. And whenever you're supplementing with creatine, that kind of tells your body like, hey, whoa, there's a lot of creatine in this guy. Like, I don't need to produce this anymore. So some people think that, or believe, and it's true. It's a possibility that your body will kind of get lazy and stop producing creatine on its own, and people don't want to do that to themselves. So they cycle off of creatine to give their body a chance to rebound and to synthesize creatine on its own again before they start supplementing. So make your own informed decision. I don't know if I see a big issue either way. Like I said, I don't usually cycle it, but I also don't take a lot of creatine. I mean, I think there are some people who take more than the recommended 5 grams a day. So I really think that I haven't, like I said, had any adverse effects. But there's my thoughts on creatine. Sorry, I got kind of tongue tied. Hopefully, I didn't make any like dumb mistakes. But I really like it. It's a cheap supplement too. You know, I got this. This is like 4.5 pounds or 4.4 pounds for like 30 something bucks, and this is going to last. Considering it's only a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon at a time. This stuff, I'm gonna have this. I'm like a senior in college right now. I'm probably gonna have this until I get my PhD. I'm dead serious. It's gonna take forever to get rid of that. So it's a really cheap, really affordable supplement, and it's been proven time and time again to work. Really, there's so much research on it. You know, go ahead, get on PubMed, check it out. It's probably one of the most, people say it's the most studied supplement we have out there. But once again, to go with the safety of with creatine, make sure you stick with a Creapure, a monohydrate, because the other forms of creatine haven't been studied as much. So I recommend the monohydrate. So Optimum Nutrition is a great choice, well priced, and you can find that anywhere online. So let me know if you have any questions. I know everyone's thoughts and kind of, conflict about this, but this is kind of my 2 cents. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys soon.